All right, so let's get specific now. At the heart of sales, really at the highest level of sales, what it really is, it's the transference of emotion. That's what's happening when you sell someone. You're transferring emotion. And the primary emotion that you're transferring is certainty, this feeling of certainty. In other words, when a prospect walks into a sales setting, into your funnel, they come in your funnel, right? You're just imagine what's happening. Let's take an overhead view. You, the salesperson, are at this ultra high level of certainty because you know your product is awesome. You know it fills their needs. It can help them. It's fairly priced. It's better than the you know that. So you yourself, as the salesperson, you are absolutely certain that what you have is the best fit for them, right? That's what you are. So imagine a scale of certainty or a continuum of certainty with a 1 over here and a 10 here. 10 represents a state of absolute certainty, where you're damn sure about your product, right? Best thing in the world. A 1 means it's basically absolute uncertainty. It's the biggest piece of shit in the world. It's like doesn't work, it's gonna break, it's overpriced, right? So just imagine that when you enter a sale, you, the salesman, you're at this ultra high level of certainty, and typically your prospects, well, they won't be at a 1. I mean, no one thinks it's terrible, but they're probably somewhere at a 4 or a 5, simply because they don't know everything about your product. They don't know how great your product is, right? So you're at this ultra high level of certainty, they're at a lower level of certainty, and what you're doing is as you move someone down the straight line from the open to the close, everything that you say, everything you do is designed to transfer that feeling of certainty from you to the prospect. That's what's happening when you sell. You're transferring certainty that your product is the best thing out there. Now, watch what happens. Let's say you do that. Let's say you sit down with a prospect, whether it's in person or over the phone, doesn't matter, right? And you give them a 10-minute presentation, and when you're done, you've really made an airtight case about your product. Why it is the best thing out there. And in fact, the prospect is saying, wow, this really is a great product. It works. I can see it filling my needs. It's totally awesome. This is really, wow, it's awesome, right? That's pretty much, they're at a 10. You've done your job. So here's my question. If you get them to an absolute 10 on the certainty scale for your product, will they buy? Yes or no? Well, if you said yes, the answer is you're wrong. Maybe. You see, it's not that they'll buy, because what happens if they don't trust you? Let's say as you were transferring the certainty, you transferred certainty, but you did it in a way that was offensive or broke rapport or just made you feel untrustworthy or shifty, like you're just trying to ram it down their throat. Is someone going to buy from you when they're not certain about you, the salesperson? Of course not. People don't buy from people they don't trust. So it's not enough to get someone to a 10 about your product. You also have to get them to a 10 about you. They have to trust and connect with you at a very high level. So watch, we call these the 3 10s, right? These 3 things, these are the first 3 of the 5 elements that must line up. The first one, they must love your product at a very high level. The second is they must trust and connect with you. They have to think that this person's going to stand behind his word. He's going to be there for customer service. I connect with him. He seems like a nice guy. He feels my pain. He has my best interest in heart. Those are the things that make up the second 10, right? So let's say you did that. Let's say you did a really good job. So as you transferred your certainty, you didn't know whether they said, wow, this is a really good guy and so forth. So they're at a 10 and now a 10 as well for you. Will they buy now? Yes or no? If you said yes, the answer is, well, maybe they will and maybe they won't. Because what if in the process, there was something in the back of their mind where they didn't trust the company that stands behind the product. Let's say they don't trust the company. So they like the product itself. They think you're a good person, but there's something about the company. I don't like that company. Are they going to buy the product? No way. We don't buy from companies we don't trust. We don't buy from salespeople we trust. And we don't buy products that we don't like. But when you line up all 3 of these and you corral a 10, 10, 10 in a single moment in time and ask for the order in the right way, bam, magic starts to happen. So these 3 things, they must love your product. Number 2, they must trust and connect with you. And 3, trust and connect with the company. These are the first 3 of the 5 elements that must line up if you want to have any shot of closing the deal. We call them again the 3 10s. Now, before I end this particular lesson here, there's one thing I want to focus on, and that there's actually two types of certainty. This is important here. There's something called logical certainty, and logical certainty is that sort of that arithmetic in your mind, your left brain certainty, where it makes sense to you. The value proposition, the pricing model, it's superior to the competition. Yes, it's going to fill my needs empirically. It's a logical frame. You say, yeah, this makes sense. I'm certain this makes sense logically, right? That's logical certainty. The problem is this. You could create the most airtight logical case you want, and people still won't buy from you because people don't buy on logic. People buy based on the second type of certainty, which is called emotional certainty. Emotional certainty is very different. So while logical certainty is this sort of arithmetic value proposition, makes sense, I can connect all the dots, and the way you create that's mostly through words. You say you make a case, right? Emotional certainty is based on someone imagining themselves in the future, using your product, and feeling good. They've actually gotten the benefit. It's working. They're out of pain, feeling pleasure again. They're back in control. So they future pace, as the phrase goes, and that's how you create emotional certainty. But here's the thing. If you just create emotional certainty and you don't have the logical underpinnings, doesn't work very well either. Because here's the thing. People don't buy on logic. They buy on emotion, but they justify their decision with logic. Logical mind serves as the human bullshit detector and tells someone that, yeah, I can. In other words, if you fail to make the logical case first, what happens is the bullshit detector says, I will not get moved emotionally. It stops the process from getting taken away emotionally because it doesn't make sense. Like you hype them up, it's all great in the future, but it doesn't make sense. Well, is it really going to work? So what happens is with the straight lines, we focus on creating logical certainty first, and that frees them up to be moved emotionally. One without the other doesn't work very well. When you do it this way, wow, the results are staggering.